What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Value TV show, the show where we give you tools to build and have healthy relationships. That's right, tools to build and have healthy relationships. I'm Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic, and today I decided to do things a little different. This is the first time on the Value TV show where I'm bringing in a guest that is an influencer, impactor, world changer, doing some things amazing out here in the entrepreneur space. And I got my guy, Jose.
Man, first off, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Make me sound bigger than what I am. And I love the beautiful people. That's how I hit my people with. I be like, what's going on, beautiful people? I'm Jose, black dude with a Spanish name, AKA Minnie Morris Chestnut, AKA Idris Elba. That's like my little thing. You know what I'm saying? I like going out and staying in. I'm an Aries. I like long walks on the beach. I like when people use your and you are or you're the exact same way that it's supposed to be used out here in these streets.
Wow.
Again, that's how we're going to start it off.
Hold on. Since you started it like that, I wasn't going to ask this question until later down the line, but I'm just going to shoot the question right out there.
Yeah.
Is Jose seeing somebody out here?
Nah, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I need to make sure also I turn my phone on because we got phone calls coming through real quick. We're going to do that. Let's do that. Put that
and the
thing
reason
on
I
focus
asked that is
mode.
because it felt like when you just said what you said, it was like an advertisement low key.
Yeah, look, I'm always, when I'm not in this situation, I'm always making sure that my applications is out there. You know what I'm saying? Accepting resumes, doing interviews, you know.
Are you, well, I'll get to the back to the dating part later.
I love it.
So listen, man, I know God has packaged many gifts inside of us. So
Yeah.
when I ask this question, it's a broad question. So
Yeah.
who is Jose and what is he doing out here?
First, Jose is, I always say, look, we have Jose, we have Joseph. Now, truly, as a person who's done branding, I always say, look, in regards to your brand, you are the brand, of course, plug intended. You know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, I'm not that same person. So first, I'm a disciple. You know what I'm saying? I'm a follower. I'm a believer. Second off, I'm a man. Then I'm a father. You know. Then I want to be somebody who's going to be impactful and inspiring. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because I was talking even to my therapist or what have you, just working on certain things. My whole goal was always to be remembered, right? So I don't care if I met you 5 seconds, 1 second, I'm going to engage with you if it's within my power. So it'll be something impactful. And the main reason that is I want to plant a seed. Mm-hmm. There's been certain aspects in my life where there've been negative seeds that have been planted and they harvested and bear fruit that was not, that was detrimental to my life, right? And so my whole thing has been since the specific time was like, okay, you know what? I'm planting these good seeds. Every person I come in contact, I'm gonna plant these good seeds. And the main reason I will plant the seeds, it's almost like I've heard stories where people woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
They argue as far as with their significant other, their wife. They might even disregard their kids and tell them I'm not even hungry, and then they get dressed and then they go off to work, and then because of that attitude that they brought, they swipe somebody or cut somebody off. Now that person feels a certain way. That person now takes that thing as far as to work, that takes it to their job, and then it leads to as far as something that they bring home. And then the next day, because y'all beefing, then that same person now gets in a car accident. Mm-hmm. We done affected potentially 15 people all because you woke up on the side of the bed. Not even talk about the trickle-down effect in regards to the kids and the family, all because of one seed. Mm-hmm. Say, okay, how we turn this the other way? How am I going to be able to now put a smile on somebody's face like, okay, maybe it's a joke, maybe it's something inspirational, maybe it's something that God gave me just for that one person specifically that I need to be obedient and tell that person just to be able to now take that seed, it grows, it harvests, and then create something else that I would never see. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I know I did what I was supposed to do. That's always been. Now, of course, if I got more time with you, I'm gonna try to pour in some more. But even if it's 1 second, even if it's 2 seconds, be at the airport. Sometimes it's a smile. And it's for everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, in a nutshell, you know what I'm saying? In a nutshell, that is Jose.
So with that analogy right there, what kind of seeds, because I see you on social media, I see you out and about speaking. What kind of seeds are you planting out here in this entrepreneur world? Because I mean, people that are watching or listening, they're like, man, well, I heard what he's saying. Like, what kind of impact are you doing there?
The biggest thing is that I found in the personal branding space and course creation space, because that's what I do. The two main focuses of what I do I always said that I impact those who impact the world. So I always looked at it like it's only a certain amount of people I can touch personally. Cool. Whether it's with social media, whether it's with YouTube, whether it's at a conference, whether it's on a webinar, whether it's on a Zoom or what have you, whether it was on Clubhouse, there's only a certain amount of people. But if I impact that same person, that specific person, now they're able to reach the masses. But the same thing I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
The same thing I'm doing over here. So my whole thing is I speak to a certain people who are in a space where, first off, they don't know what's next. I speak to some people who even have maybe that whole thing we were talking about, the imposter syndrome, where you just second guessing. And the main reason the enemy trying to always play on your mind because you have a purpose, right? So you have a purpose in this world, you have a gift, you have a gap in this space that is life or death for somebody. Right? And being that it's life or death, that's how much of an importance that it is. And the enemy's like, nah, we need to stop that. You need to have some doubt in there. We need to stop you in your tracks right then and there. So my goal is to say, look, that still small voice that you even hearing, or that fleshly voice that you're hearing, that ain't real. And if you focus on the external, meaning that person that it is life or death, you're not going to hear that internal voice. You're not going to hear the voices, the naysayer. You're not going to hear even the people who are around saying you can't do it, because the whole thing is bigger than you. That's how everything that I've even worked with. I know we talk about like leaving relationships, even previous relationships. My whole thing was like, yo, it's bigger than me and you. Like the purpose that we are working on, the things that we're working on is to whether it's bring people closer to Christ, or maybe it's getting people out of this situation, or maybe it's in the space of confidence, or maybe it's in the space of to the point of fixing that estranged relationship, whether it's with a spouse, or whether it's with a child, or whether it's with your mama. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all of that that's bound into that space in regards to the impact.
Okay, so I'm hearing some things as a man.
Yeah.
And I believe this is going to help some of the men out there that's watching. This is a tool coming. Listen to the tool. It's coming. It's going to come out of this question. Watch. As a man that's in this entrepreneur space, you know, surrounded by, you know, some heavy hitters, some prestigious men and women as well, and men and women as well.
Yep.
When it comes to being in a relationship, because you touched on it, how important is the impact that you guys make collectively outside of as an individual?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, being a single guy, if you're a single guy in the entrepreneur realm, you know, of course you're going to end up dating, and you end up finding somebody, and then you still have two individuals, but now they're coming together as a unit. So how important is the impact as a unit versus being as an individual? Yeah,
so it is, first off, just the answer in the short version is extremely important. The second thing is, I used to be married, right?
Okay.
I was married, and I thought, let's say it like this, I'll call myself a serial monogamous. So meaning that every time I'm jumping in, I'm trying to jump all the way in. I'm trying to go, I'm not for getting notches on my belt. I'm not out here trying to, you know what I'm saying, sow my roll oats or anything like that, and be wild in these streets, you know what I'm saying? So anytime I jump in, and I didn't want to let it go, but that's not what she wanted in regards to marriage as a whole. So there was other situations afterwards, and I would not go any further or pass a specific line or a step if I feel like our purposes won't align. If I feel like, so for me, it's impacting those who impact the world. I'm gonna leave my positive seeds. It's bringing people closer to God, or even if it's not Christ specifically, even a spiritual awakening to understand itself.
Okay.
That again, I got people on all different beliefs, and I straight respect them. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want you coming for mine, right? But at the same time, if you come in contact with me, my brand, my presence, I need you to understand that there's something closer that you can reach to that is beyond you, right? And so if that's not in alignment, and if we ain't out to help people, it's almost like actually everything that I do, like whether it's personal branding, whether it's courses, the first thing I tell them, I'm like, yo, I rock with you, but I don't do it for you. I do it for the end user. I do it for the student. I do it for that person who's going to pay for that program. That person who's like, yo, $2,000, that's all I got. $5,000, all I got. This is my last, or whatever. But I need you to be able to, I think this program will be able to change my life. The same thing happens in regards to the relationship. This is me investing in a relationship or investing in a situation that's saying, okay, the return is going to impact the people. The return means there's going to be transformation for the people. The return, when they see us and they see as far as the work that we're doing, that it's being able to change people's lives.
Yeah.
But that's outside. So that's external first, truly, because a lot of people are like, well, it's internal. I would say external first because that's your why. Sometimes if we do it internal, yes, we do the internal work. Yes, we learn who we are. Yes, we get self-aware. But sometimes when it's internal, it's based off of desires versus external is based off of pain. And I say that because a lot of times we move. How many people say, oh, I want to make 6 figures or I want to make $1 million? That's a desire.
Yeah.
But they don't get up. But if they got that foot pain or if they got that headache, oh, you know what, I need to go. Or I got, you know what I'm saying, I'm feeling something in my upper respiratory, or I feel like I got cold. You're going to move. You got pain. People move more on pain than they move on their desires. So in regards to the external, are we focusing on the pain of the people? Or are we trying to eliminate it, alleviate it, and fix it versus just the specific desires of our own heart?
I want to label this maintaining through it all.
I like it. I like it.
Because I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, and as you're going through the ups, the downs, the obstacles, sharing your gift, you know, being let down, it may be betrayal, it may be whatever, all these things you face on this road. How do you maintain through it all when you're trying to make this impact and touch these lives and be an assistant to someone or serve over here, and the pain is hitting, and you know the pain is connected to your purpose, but you're like, you know what, I think today I'm gonna throw in the towel, but I need to maintain through it all. For that entrepreneur, whether it's a woman or a man that's listening or watching, because we're faced with that. And some people may look on and say, man, well, dang, they got it together, they killing it. But behind the scenes, how is Jose maintaining through it all?
It's a lot to unpack on that. First and foremost, you need a level of accountability. Now, accountability with somebody you can trust that you can be vulnerable with. Main reason is if we trying to always say, if you're showing up as Superman, you're boring or you're overpowered. If Superman didn't have kryptonite, he would be overpowered and be boring, right? There has to be a weakness that we see. It's like, okay, there's something that I can see in him that I can see in me. All right, cool, I'm going through situations. You have a level of accountability. They're not responsible, but they're accountable. They're a sounding board. Also, I would say therapy. I'm big on therapy. I do therapy twice a week, right? And the main reason is I want to be the most self-aware individual. Just Monday, I don't know if it was spiritual, hormonal, whatever, I had a bout of depression. I was in the bed. Like, it was crazy. Yet at the same time, I recognized I was self-aware. I was like, okay, cool. How am I going to work through this piece? And what am I supposed to learn while I'm in it, right? Because it just literally out of nowhere. Even to the point where I was supposed to have a therapy session, I was like, nah, and my stomach was hurting and everything like that. I was like, let me sit and let me reflect in it. But then after, I don't be in it long because I know, like, okay, there's a bigger mission. They're external. The internal was, oh, I'm gonna stay in bed. And here's the crazy part. You got to understand what motivates you, because even in that, on the outside looking in, I had a great day financially. Like, to the point where, quote unquote, I didn't do anything and made some bread. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good in regards to the 5 figures, right? But at the same time, money doesn't motivate me. So I had to figure out what is that thing that motivates me, what is that thing that's gonna make me get out of bed. And a lot of times, for real, again, it's the external. And the external is, okay, maybe it's my kids. The external is, maybe it's the impact. The external is, maybe it's a program or something that you need that's gonna be the vehicle to be able to help somebody out. Again, whatever that thing is. For me, I was like, okay, you know what? Me sitting in the bed is not helping anybody. And again, me doing this plants a seed that could be life or death for somebody. Me waiting and sitting on my hands, or me, and that's why I talk about it all the time. Like, maybe it's that podcast you're supposed to start, or maybe it's that book you're supposed to start, that ebook you're supposed to start, that program you're supposed to start, that book that you're supposed to finish, that thing that you keep saying, I'm waiting for Monday, that thing that you like, yo, I'm gonna wait till my birthday, I'm gonna wait till New Year's Eve, that thing you say, I'm gonna do it next month, that every time we wait, somebody dies. So every time I was in that, every hour I was in the bed, I felt like somebody's dying.
as a man, because I got a lot of women that watch the show and men, but as a man in your position, how important is it having another man in your life? And let me describe that man. One, a man of spiritual authority. And then two, just a natural man that you could just be, let your hair down with, you know what I mean? We could kick it. Another, you know, I always say that men should have, and women, but a man that's over them, not in terms of dictatorship. Man that's over them, a man that's on their level, and then another man or young man they can pour into.
I again answer the question first and then always bring it into a story. Super important. The story I always think of, you know, we hear iron sharpens iron. It's like, all right, cool, I understand what that is. I used to always wonder when I was watching like cooking channels or even my mom, and she had this rod, right? And it had a wooden handle on it, and it was abrasive or what have you. And I was like, what is she doing with that thing? And she would take the knife and just, you know, slide it up and down and that. Yet at the same time, she had a sharpener. So it goes back to iron sharpens iron. I was like, okay, well, what is that thing? And I had to look it up, and it was called a honing rod or a honing steel, right? And so what happens is that is not sharpening the knife. So what happens if you think about it, even with it, let's go back to the sharpening piece. We always talk about the grind. I noticed even before COVID, I had caught COVID the first time and it was bad. It was near to the point where I was suicidal. That's how bad it was. I was literally near death, whether it's by my own hands or by the hands of the sickness. Cool. But prior to that was grind. Then I looked up the word grind. It means to pulverize, to wear away. Then it made me think about a pencil. Yeah, I remember back in the days, I might be showing my age, but we had these pencil sharpeners where we had to walk to the front of the class and we had to crank that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you take the pencil and you were cranking, what happens is it's getting sharper, but it's starting to wear away. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's what I would think about when you sharpen a knife. It's really getting smaller, just like that pencil. Going back to the honing rod, the honing steel, what happens is with that, it's not sharpening it, it's actually getting it straight. So you might be mentally sharp, you might be mentally aware, spiritually sharp, or physically, like you might have things in order, but at the same time, you curved or you're going the wrong way, and you have somebody who is accountable for you in that space, like with a spiritual authority who is going to make sure that even if you are vulnerable, that they can be there to make sure you're on the straight and narrow path. I am that to others. But I need that as well. Just like that honing rod is to make sure when it's cutting into the meat, it could be sharp as it want, but if it got a curve in it, it's not going to cut it correctly. So we got to think about who are the persons that in our life are keeping us on that straight, on that narrow, because it's already narrow. As if it was wide, everybody would be able to do it. It's a narrow path, but are we being straight and we making sure we're not teetering off the left and the right? We ain't never going to be perfect, but at the same time, somebody to be able to help you balance. It's like, okay. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. It's funny because actually I was sitting in the chair right there. I was telling my guy, because I did not hit him up. And I was like, yo, I was going through it on Monday. He was like, yo, whatever, man, hit me. Like literally not even 10 minutes ago. He was like, hit me. I was like, nah. I just said I had to breathe through it. I had to recognize what it is because I'm big on the awareness. So when I have like these super amazing feelings and it's out of nowhere, I want to remember, like, oh, what was happening? What was it? Was it my prayer life? What was my fasting life? What was, as far as my reading life, what was it like? What was going on in my life? Same thing in regards to the quote unquote negative. Because I always look at even the quote unquote storms, like nothing was wrong. Everything around me, if somebody on the outside looking in, it was good. But what was that thing? But even if it is a storm, like what is going on around you? And I always think about it, when is it the sweetest? When is the air most sweetest? And that's usually after a storm. You go outside and it's like, you can almost taste it. You know what I'm saying? So
real quick, before you even move on, I want you to touch on that phone scenario relation to the pause.
So I've been doing retail for a long time, right? Like literally 17 years. Most of it was at Verizon. I did 2 years at AT&T. I was at Circuit City and all this other stuff. Shout out to my Circuit City people. They probably like, what was Circuit City? But there would be people that would come in and they'd be like, yo, my my phone. You know what I'm saying? When I was at Verizon, I was like, yo, my phone ain't working. I can't make my calls or what have you. And there was a couple things that we do. First and foremost, we would switched out the SIM card or what have you. That was like a little thing to just get the people out or what have you. But we don't do that. You know, they don't do that no more. I asked them. But other things that we used to do in regards to the aspect of tech support or the aspect of fixing this phone, this level of connection was, first thing we would do is what they call a soft reset. I know some on the new phones is a little different. I know on mine I got to hold the button and hit the volume down at the same time. And what it would do is go black and you hold it until the little Apple sign comes up. I don't know what it is on Android. Shout out to my Android people. But what that does is it does what they call a soft reset. So it means that it's going to shut down everything and bring it right back up. And just like in relationships, just like in entrepreneurship, just like in manhood, whether discipleship, whatever that is, sometimes we need to just like, all right, we're going to shut down everything and bring it back up. Now, the issue that we will probably have, though, is even with the phone, if there's any type of corruption or malware or what have you that's in the phone, it's bringing it right back up. So the negativity in your life, you'll come back to it and you're like, yo, it's still there. You'll go to sleep at night and the pains of maybe somebody that passed away or left, that thing, it still shows up and you're like, yo, it's still there. You take a nap or you try to go to a movies, right, and try to keep your mind off of that thing. It's still there. So the second thing that we would do, as far as in relation to the phone, is a network reset. Again, you're not able to make your calls, we'll do a network reset. And with the network reset, we go into the settings and it say, do you sure you want to reset as far as your network settings? You're like, yes. And what it does is it's going to like shut down as far as the phone network and how it's connecting to the different towers and how it's connected to every Wi-Fi that you've ever connected to. So you have to go back in there and enter in those passwords again. So it's starting it from fresh, right? It's starting it from scratch. But you think about in relationship to manhood or relationships or entrepreneurship, we got to look at the connections that we have. Some of those connections we're going to have to shut down, is like reestablish them. We're going to have to shut down in a space where it's like, yo, that person I shouldn't even be connected to, that ex that I shouldn't be connected to, maybe even that old business partner or that current business partner that I know that's not working within my purpose. What is that, the level of connection? The only issue that sometimes we run into that, though, is when we shut down those connections, we are inadvertently burning bridges, and that goes into the third part. Then we do a factory reset. The factory reset is like, yo, we're shutting down everything. We're going to delete everything off of the phone just as if it came new and fresh from the box. Right? That's that thing where we're just going to wipe it all and start anew. And that thing ain't really in entrepreneurship and manhood and discipleship, womanhood, whatever that thing that you're going through. Sometimes we're going to have to shut down and be like, yo, I need to take a week.
Yeah.
I need to disconnect. I need to wipe off. But here's the thing. There's going to be people who are connected to you. There's going to be people who are there for you, and they're not going to understand why you're going away. They're not going to understand why you're not answering their texts. They're not going to understand why you're not answering their calls. They're not going to understand why you ain't answering when they come at the door or try to let you in the gate. They ain't going to understand why you went away and didn't tell them. And so we got to be cognizant of that. And then at the same time with the phone, you're bringing back the things that you want, right? Those pictures and those videos, those memories, that thing you have backed up into the cloud. You have a choice now to say, oh, I want to bring this back. I don't want to bring that back. Maybe you got pictures of your ex. You don't need that in there, right? Maybe it was a bad situation that you keep remembering. We don't even want to go into that negative space, right? Same thing with our phone, but the same thing with us. Like those new things that we're bringing back from the past, is it going to be beneficial to where we're going?
Yeah.
Is it going to be beneficial to the growth? Is it going to be beneficial to our mindset? Is it beneficial to our purpose and what we're doing in this space and what we're doing as far as to impact the world? Wow. So again, remember, we got the soft reset. Let me just shut down real quick, but it brings everything back up. And again, it brings up the positive and the negative. It brings back as far as the good and the bad, the good, the indifferent. It brings all of it, the ugly. Then we got the network. Who are the people that we're connected to? Who are the people we're communicating with? What is that? Again, as they say, your network is your net worth or what have you. That network of people that you have around you, are they holding you down? Are they bringing you up? And then at the same time, are you bringing something to the table that's helping that network? And then lastly, the full on factory where we just shutting down everything. We wiping it just as I'm starting from new. But then that thing means it's a higher or a steeper hill to climb to reestablish those good relationships.
Yeah.
And we got to be careful and cognizant of that, you know, in that space. So yeah, that's the pause. All of it is the pause.
Selah, as they would say, Selah, where nothing else needs to be said. There's a mouthful that I want to add to, but nothing else needs to be said except on that factory shutdown.
Yeah.
Behold, you are a new creature. Old things have passed away. You are new.
Let's go.
Yo, Jose,
yeah,
where can the people find you at, man?
Yes. Jose Black Dude with a Spanish name. You can catch me on the IG. You know what I'm saying? That's like going grandma, but on the IG, they put the duh in front of there. At featuring Jose, at featuring _ Jose, FEATURING _Jose. You'll see me probably with a cap to the back talking or something like that, with posts and quotes and inspiration and trying to impact people some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You can catch me on gotcourse.com, deeperthanthebrand.com, myself, my squad, Nikki Saunders, Nick, Kurt, Isaiah, see y'all here. Our whole thing is about basically telling the people how you can impact the world using your content, your community, and of course,